Hello everyone, my name is Beansprout, and today we're going to be taking a look at this video called Why I Think Doom Eternal is Worse Than Doom 2016. And now, a lot of the points he brings up are complete false information and can be easily solved by just getting good. So let's not waste any time and let's just watch the video.
Upon dealing enough damage to demons, they'll glow blue or orange, indicating they can be glory killed. This is done by melee bashing the enemy to deal a lethal blow, with the animation modified by the enemy type, what angle you're approaching from, and the terrain upon which you're bashing. I'm not personally a fan of glory kills, at least not the frequency of which they're expected of you. To me, it feels like enemies simply have a bit too much health, and the glory kills lose their cool factor once you've seen the same animations play over and over again.
I thought this video was called Why I Think that Doom Eternal is Worse Than 2016. Well, Doom Eternal and 2016 both have glory kills. Doom Eternal has more glory kills, and you're complaining that they get boring after a while. So what does that make Doom 2016's glory kills? Boring, because they're the same ones over and over again. I am still discovering new glory kills, even after nearly a year of the game being out. So I don't understand what the massive problem is.
In lieu of this, the chainsaw, when used on foes in Doom Eternal, will spawn copious pools of ammo in a rainbow spray. Frankly though, this system feels excessive. In 2016, the chainsaw was simply a get-out-of-fight-free card. Depending on your fuel levels, you could use it to chop down all but bosses to bypass combat with them altogether. Useful for when you're low on health or supplies. In Eternal, the chainsaw with its slowly regenerating gasoline sees more use to supplement an artificial lack of ammo. Weapons ammo supplies are noticeably lower in Eternal, and drops seem fewer and farther between. This effectively forces you to chop up a lightweight enemy every once in a while, and to compensate for this, basic enemies seem to infinitely spawn in areas you've long since cleared to serve as ammo caches.
The chainsaw in Doom Eternal regenerates. In Doom 2016, you'd have to find a can. And plus, what is the big deal with not being able to one-shot super heavy demons? It just makes the game boring if you want to just kill every enemy with one shot.
Although needing to actively swap between grenades or ice grenades to use one another takes an extra second I often found myself without.
How is that an issue? Swapping between the grenades takes an extra second. In Doom 2016, you had way more grenades to swap to. So say for instance you wanted to have to go from the frag grenade to the hologram, you'd have to press the button more than enough times to get through each grenade. Doom Eternal, there's only 2 grenades, so what's the big issue?
The Flame Belch doesn't deal damage of any note, but will make any damage dealt to inflamed foes drop armor packs to further increase Doom Guy's survivability. However, upon hearing of these two mechanics, you may assume igniting a frozen enemy would shatter or melt them, but no, you're left with an enemy that's frozen and burning, and taking no damage from either.
Why does every games reviewer want every game to be as realistic as something like Rainbow Six Siege? Not every game has to be ultra-realistic, especially not a Doom game. In Doom, you are literally a demigod who carries about 8 guns and fights demons from hell.
I enjoy Blood Punch overall, however, in contrast, the normal melee attack does literally no damage. It slightly staggers enemies backwards, but unlike 2016, you can't resort to swinging away when pressured.
It's because you're meant to use your guns, not just smack everything with your fists. It is a first-person shooter, after all. If you wanted to punch things, then go play Mortal Kombat.
Combat is meant to be fast-paced and ongoing, but is constantly interrupted by tutorial pop-ups or cutscenes indicating where to go next, seeing as the level design is doing you no favors in making that clear.
The level design does give you some pretty good favors, actually, of telling you where to go, because whenever you see a green light in a level, it probably means you can go there. And complaining about the tutorials is probably the most dumb thing you can probably complain about. He says that he's playing his second playthrough, but yet still has tutorials turned on for whatever reason.
Platforming off the beaten path to find secret extra lives and collectibles is encouraged, yet invisible walls and kill triggers are placed in otherwise innocuous positions.
If you tried to jump over that wall, and it let you, then you'd be able to finish the mission way too fast and you wouldn't be experiencing the rest of the mission. And if it let you do that, you would probably be complaining about not being able to experience the rest of the mission because you can just jump over the wall.
Some mechanics are outright competing with each other in their intended purpose. The chainsaw and crucible, the sword that is, could absolutely have been combined together into one weapon bound to one key.
They could have never been one weapon. The Crucible serves one purpose in the game, and that was so you could kill the Icon of Sin. If the Icon was not in this game, then you would not have needed the Crucible. The chainsaw is something that you do need. The chainsaw you need for your ammo. And plus, the chainsaw is in every Doom game. You probably would have complained if the Crucible was in place of the chainsaw, and it wouldn't have made much sense if you could only kill the Icon of Sin with a chainsaw.
There are new Arc Vials, summoner-type enemies, who will spawn powered-up versions of demons who maintain their power until the summoner is killed. However, there is also the Buff Totem, which will continuously spawn and power up demons until destroyed. Why are these two separate mechanics?
Well, you probably also would have complained if you had to fight an Archvile every time there's meant to be a Buff Totem. And you probably also would have complained if there was no Archvile in the game, because the Archvile's been in nearly every Doom game since Doom 2.
And that's not even getting into the new Empowered Demons feature added after launch. This will randomly power up demons who have killed other players during their own campaigns, and drop more supplies as a reward upon being defeated. While I don't hate this conceptually, the fact that it effectively randomly buffs enemies means any difficulty balance this feature could supply has gone out the window.
Any difficulty balance this feature could supplies went out the window? Turn it off. You can do that in the settings, just go turn it off, it's not that hard. Unless you have small brain like this guy and you don't know how to navigate through a menu.
So upon replaying levels, I can get to the meat of the matter, the gameplay. Speaking of, let's get back to that. The rune system makes a return from 2016, equipable unlocks which augment your abilities, such as more air control, faster glory kills, etc. There are also Praetor tokens, which augment your abilities, such as faster equipment cooldown, more quickly platforming, etc. There are also crystals, which increase your HP, ammo, and armor, and augment your abilities, such as faster flamethrower cooldown, more health on glory kills, etc. There are also weapon mods, which augment your abilities and have their own 2 currencies, which further... Okay, this could have all been one fucking system.
It couldn't have been one system. And plus, how does this make Doom Eternal worse than Doom 2016? It's the exact same system.
And I haven't even gotten to the glitches yet. No game is safe from bugs, of course, but Eternal, even nearly a year after launch, is still plagued with broken interactions, dysfunctional AI, and crashing. Enemies will
How dare you insult the dysfunctional AI in Doom Eternal? That stuff gives me content.
But rather than back off, I'm gonna go a little harder into territory I know most people disagree with me about.
Oh, what I've been waiting for. Nearly every one of these Doom reviews that say that Doom Eternal is bad have something about the Marauder, and they're just complete lack of competence to beat this enemy. I don't understand what is so hard about fighting the Marauder. It's not really that hard of an enemy to fight. Unless you do an IGN and fight it with a chain gun, it's not that hard to fight. Just super shotgun ballista, maybe even try the under the mayo combo, where he uses the full auto shotgun to kill it. It's not that hard, just learn how the game works and you'll be able to beat him easily.
The Marauder isn't a fun enemy to fight. This guy with a shield which can only be targeted at mid-range.
That can only be targeted at mid-range, you say? No, that is completely incorrect. What is your mid-range? It's not as close as you think. What I do is try and stay as far away from him as I possibly can, forcing him to charge me and do his glowy eye attack.
And is immune to weapons like the BFG or insta-kill sword. He can go for long stretches without giving you a window to attack, and it's seemingly random when he'll finally decide to be vulnerable.
It's not random. At all, in the slightest. Stay far away from him, and you'll be fine. Also, quick tip. Do not use the chain gun to fight a Marauder.
Gameplay-wise, however, 2016 simply plays better, faster, less downtime from tutorials and needless new mechanics.
Look, Doom 2016 is nowhere near as fast as Doom Eternal. If you take a Doom 2016 footage and compare it to Doom Eternal, you'll obviously think that Doom Eternal is faster. Just look at the speedrunning community, look at people like lightningbreak, look how they play, compared to how you're playing Doom 2016 and Eternal.
Let's talk about something important. What is Doom supposed to be? Obviously, when developing a game, you can make it pretty much however you want. It's your product, or it in Bethesda's in this case. But the name and ideas of Doom assume a certain style of play. To me, Doom is fast-paced combat in a series of arenas connected by hallways with secrets off the beaten path. Demons and bloodshed, hell and brimstone with a variety of firearms to spice up gameplay. Doom 2016 does all of this, in my opinion, brilliantly.
So does Doom Eternal. You literally just described Doom Eternal. Basically, that's all the points I wanted to touch on. I only wanted to touch on the main points I took issue with, but if you did enjoy the video, then give it a like, and if you really enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. I make regular Doom content as much as I can, sometimes daily, sometimes not, just depends if I have time to or not. And I also have a Discord that is open to anyone, and you don't have to do any of that verification garbage like entering your phone number, you can just join. But anyway, thanks for watching, have a nice day.